unconscious pilot, well known to get violent. People hate me for what I did. Pressed my thumbs against his eyelids. Break man with the own who he did. Your savior made his bed, now waffle his head. Little Bible of flame, your religion is fake, now I don't wanna blame him. For explosiveness, nonsense with unholy lyrical content until the day I'm in Hades for crucifying this cry baby. Hey Zeus, hey you. Fuck you and that God that you pray to.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Horror Corridor, episode 11. We're here with Con-Crete. Saws up, motherfucker.
Saws up!
That's right. We got Horrorcrunk Entertainment's artist, Con-Crete, here. He came down from Seattle to Olympia because we both live in the Northwest. I think we both lived here our whole lives. So, yeah, Con-Crete, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
First of all, I was born in Seattle, Washington. Did some moving around. My father was in the Navy at the time to finish his medical schooling. Wound up on the East Coast and then came back. By the time I was 3 years old, we moved to Silverdale, Washington, which is a small town. At least it was a small town at the time. Right next to Bremerton, Washington, Kitsap County. A lot of us like to call it Kidnap County. Come off vacation, leave on probation, and come back on a violation. I didn't write that. The city came up with that themselves.
Northwest is kind of like a stomping grounds, too, for serial killers, right? I mean, you are the Black Ridge Way.
Yeah, I ended up learning that later on. I spent most of my adult life in Bremerton, Washington, which is right next to Silverdale. And it turns out, we found this out later. We already came with, Slaughterhouse Records is what we started off originally, or Bloodshot did, and then Slaughtercore Entertainment, and we used the word slaughter, the meaning of slaughter a lot. And later on, I ended up finding out we had a roller derby organization called the Slaughter County Roller Vixens. My friend had a friend named Brandy. She was part of that, and ran into them in the bar one day and asked them how they came up with the name. They're like, oh, no, this county was originally named Slaughter County.
Holy shit.
Yeah, a lieutenant, like an ex-military guy, a guy in the military, Lieutenant Slaughter. His last name was Slaughter. And he lived in Bainbridge Island or something like that, like, I don't know, way back, probably 1800s, early 1900s, something like that. And he settled in this county, and he named it, and it was named after him, Slaughter County. And then one day they changed it to Kitsap County. So all this slaughter stuff, we call our fans slaughterers, and all that shit we were starting, we didn't know we were in Slaughter County when we came up with that.
That's funny because if you look at the flyer for this episode, you'll see the cover of Welcome to Slaughterville in the background. And I always think of Slaughterville as Bremerton now.
Yeah.
Bremerton. And that's just weird because it's a town that I grew up in before I even knew. Like, I didn't grow up there, but I played punk shows and stuff when I was a kid. Never thought of it as Slaughterville, but now it's Slaughterville.
Yeah.
But what was your name before Con-Crete?
When I started freestyling at age 19, and I used to go by A. Swift. Can't remember. I decided not to use it because I found out somebody else had the name. Didn't matter. Somebody else was named Con-Crete too, but it was A. Swift. I think it ended up being the name of a member of I don't know. Anyways, and that was my freestyle name. I went by like. One time, we were just drunk as fuck one day when I was 19, and we're walking down to the store, just drunk as fuck. Me and Junior E, that's what he went by. As like, and that's the guy who introduced me to Bloodshot. And we were just walking down, just drunk as fuck, and we started freestyling. And eventually when I met Bloodshot and I actually started recording myself, I went by the name Winslow. And that's when we started Doomsday Riders for a little bit back in the day. And that's the name I went by the first few tracks I recorded. And then one day I decided, I want to change my name again. And Bloodshot, we were just sitting in the car, smoking some weed, having one of our stone drunk conversations, and he just mentioned, how about Con-Crete? You're always in trouble. Like con for convict, separated with a hyphen. And, I'm like, nah, I've never been to prison. People will probably call me out for that. And I don't know. And then, like, 2 days later, I got arrested, tackled in a parking lot and sent to jail. And all the, I went to Kitsap County Jail for the first time. And all the beds were taken. And I had to sleep on the concrete floor.
Fuck.
What a coincidence. And I passed out. I woke up in the morning and I was just like, fuck this, and just wrote my first song as Con-Crete.
Damn. Do you remember what song that was?
Guess it was meant to be. It was called Straight from the Nut House. I don't have the copy of that song. That song was never released, but that's what I wrote first.
Okay. Cool.
Like the hook was like, straight from the nut house, bitch. You can suck my dick, fucking with the concrete. You get your fucking throat slit. Pulling licks, getting rich. Always down for the wicked shit. Murdering just for kicks and killing all the witnesses.
Yeah.
That was the hook.
That's sick, dude. That's awesome. And that's a really good start, too, like, for Con-Crete.
I wrote that sitting in jail.
That's awesome.
On
and
the floor.
It's got a good backstory. It's got a good flow. So right on, man.
It was just meant to be.
Yeah. So before rapping, like, what got you into actual, like, getting into music in general?
Started off when I was 9 years old. My grandmother, Evelyn Hobbs, was a God-fearing church woman. She must be exhausted from all that turning in her grave. Wonderful woman. She was very good at the piano. She had a piano and a church organ. Both my grandmas lived in South Central LA, so I used to go visit them out there. Eventually, Evelyn moved closer to us. First started off with her own house, right across the cul-de-sac from us. That cul-de-sac was no joke, man, hardcore. I like to say, I grew up on the main streets of Silverdale, Washington. Cul-de-sac was no joke. But eventually she ended up moving in with us. But even then, I believe she stored, she had her piano and her church organ there. And it was her idea to make me start taking piano lessons. And I took my first piano lesson, at age 9. They just take me to this lady's house in a secluded area in Illahee. And I would take lessons. I wasn't into it at first, but I did my first piano recital in front of people. I was pretty nerve-wracking. But that was my first time performing in front of people that I can remember. And eventually came the point when I could do high school. No, not high school. Elementary school. I was... my mom said, you don't have to sign up for band since you already took piano lessons. And I was like, no, I actually want to. Started off playing the trumpet. And after a while, I couldn't get a note out of that damn thing. I don't know how Louis Armstrong did it. So they handed me a baritone horn, which is like a small version of the tuba, has the same range as a trombone. And really got into playing that. I used to want to play it professionally. I played that all the way through high school. I also did drama, so that's where I got into theatrics. Got my first experience acting. I've also went to film school in college. If you go on youtube.com/Con-Crete Official, you can watch some of the short films I made, like Smiles and Don't Talk, Just Smile. And just good stuff. Hoping to do more of that.
Good music videos on there too. The I Don't Pray video is pretty awesome.
That was my first music video. Filmed it on a college campus, a lot of it.
It's funny too, the opening for it with the girlfriend and the phone call. I could crack up so hard.
That was my friend Heidi. She's awesome.
That's awesome.
And I remember filming that. We couldn't stop laughing or get her to say that shit with a straight face.
She's all like dissing you for being like not into God, and then she does a huge line. Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was based on a chick I used to date. You know, like it's basically what happened. She was like on my nuts, and then out of nowhere, just basically told me that speech, and I actually made a lot of the script was out of a Facebook message she sent me.
And that's one thing I love about your music. I mean, you go for the shock, but you also go for like calling people out on like real life hypocrisy, because a lot of religious organizations are so fucking hypocritical, and like you go for it. You call them out for all that shit. So I love that.
Yeah. I like to include real life horror, like my song "Deadbeat Dad." Like, to me, it's a real life horror story. Like, and I was just mad painting a picture of how my son's mom like viewed me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you can hear the anguish in that song because you're coming at it from like an even scummier version of yourself.
Yeah.
But you can hear that there is real life turmoil happening. Maybe it's because I kind of know you and you've told me some of these things, but like, yeah, I could pick up on it from Deadbeat Dad. And you do kind of come at it as at a comical approach a little bit. Like, it's so over the top that it's like almost funny.
It's like, yeah. It was like, I was basically just painting a picture that she was painting of me.
Yeah.
But like, clearly it's like, it's not me, but it's an extension of my selfish side. But
yeah, I don't think people
exaggeration of basically how females exaggerate stuff. But then again, we exaggerate stuff ourselves. Like, you create resentments, and sometimes you just create such a horrible picture of that other person, so you don't have to look at yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's stuff I learned in recovery.
Well, that's good that you're not like looking at it from a one-sided approach either. That you're kind of looking at the all-encompassing, and it's just a lot more realistic way to look at things in general. So what got you from that playing in band and doing all that to being like, I'm going to sing about murder, abortion, anti-religion, like all this shocking stuff? Like, what took you to the level where you're like, I'm going to make mental impact on people?
That's a good point. I went through quite the Christian phase in high school. Like, I got baptized. And I remember my brother, like, he lived with my dad for a while. He didn't take the divorce as well. And so he came back. He was, like, on this atheist tip, and he was pissed off. You know, he was a fan of Nirvana. I was so judgmental. Like, I wouldn't even understand the lyrics, but, you know, I'd hear something. I'd think they say something about Jesus on a song. I get mad. And, like, so me and my brother clashed a lot there. And I remember when I finally came out of it, like, I felt like, kind of felt tricked. I don't know, but like, I also just ended up seeing a lot of hypocrisy, and then when I started drinking a lot and just like got into crime at, you know, like in my young adult years, I just like, well, I don't want to be a hypocrite, so let's give this Satanism thing a try, you know? And I got into that and sacrilegious stuff, and just pointing out, like, sometimes I think I brought people closer to God. Like, I'd scare them back.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And it's really crazy to hear, like you said, your grandma's probably turning in her grave right now. It's crazy to hear that you came from a religious upbringing and that led to this. I mean, I would say the majority of your songs are anti-religion. Maybe not the majority, but a good chunk.
Yeah, I really had a serious problem with organized religion. I still do.
You still do in your songs, and I love it. I fucking love it. Because in the wicked shit, it's weird because we're in a scene that is supposed to be wicked, it's supposed to be evil, it's supposed to be fucked up. But I've never seen so many people that, and it's fine if you're into God, that's fine for you. But it's crazy how many people in the scene are religious. So, yeah, I really like the honest, like, straightforward approach you have to it. So one thing I was really curious about, you're super energetic when you're on stage, more energetic than pretty much anyone that was at both of the shows that I saw you at last couple of weeks. What do you do to prepare yourself for that energy?
The energy just kind of comes, but I mean, I stretch. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but before the show in Everett, just before I went on, I started stretching. You know, some people, like, I didn't care if there's people watching. Kind of cool. Usually they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, stretch, man. And like, you know.
That's how they know you're serious, though, right? Like,
yeah. It's beautiful as performing with Bloodshot for the first time in like 10 years. Like, we just performed in Dallas, like April. What was it? April last year. And the energy was still there. Like, we feed off each other's energy, and it's fucking awesome. You know, that's my best friend, man.
Everybody wants to see you guys perform again soon. So when do you think that's going to happen? Are you guys talking about it?
Slaughterfest, that's next time.
Yeah. Are you going to you're going to do Slaughter Theory on that, you think? Any songs?
At least one song. I'm not sure. I need to talk to him about it, you know, how long our set list are going to be. There's a lot of people on that show, and it's only one night.
I feel like if you came out on stage to fight, I think the whole room would just go fucking nuts. Just start moshing. But that was like the anthem back in the day. I've seen videos of you guys playing that song. People were just wiling out.
Yeah, it is awesome. Probably, I mean, especially in our hometown. Oh my God. Like, it's part of why we're banned. Like, I think a lot of people just wanted to fight after that song. I mean, obviously. But our mosh pits are crazy in Bremerton. Like, I feel like I'm watching a show when I'm performing in Bremerton. Like, I mean, a lot of those kids have grown up now, but back in the day, these kids would beat the living shit out of each other, right in front, like punching each other in the face, like, and they're all cool with each other afterwards. It's only when an outsider walks into that. Mm-hmm. And then he gets all pissed, like, what the fuck? You're punching each other in the face? What the fuck?
Yep.
You know? I felt like I was watching the show. I'd forget lyrics sometimes. I'd just be sitting there rapping, but oh shit! Oh fuck! I gotta rap. Like,
yeah. Or like when you see someone just get like floored and then you just don't see them get back up and you're like, okay, is that one all right? Well, I'll keep doing the song.
My homie Sean Turner, he lives in Texas now, I believe. Yeah, one time I saw he was just a huge fan, and he was on the ground just like, holding onto his chest, like, and I'm about to stop. I'm looking at him like I'm about to get off stage, and he's just like, no, you're going.
It's just a heart attack, I swear.
We'll just love that thing.
Oh, now he's out of frame. Well, whatever. Wherever you want.
Come on, baby.
Your baby. Yeah, so you're gonna play Slaughterfest 2, and yeah, it would just be great though. Like, you think you'll ever go on tour with Bloodshot again? Like, hit a couple dates in a row or anything like that? I just think it would be. People would love to see that. I just know that Welcome to Slaughterville album is like one of those classic horrorcore albums.
Yeah. He it's really up to Bloody and us finding time to take time off work and doing it. And unfortunately, he's kind of on that. He's more focused on, you know, being there in his daughter's life, like Eminem. He's like, I don't want to go on tour and come back, and my daughter's grown up. Like,
yeah, I couldn't do that either because of my children. I wouldn't want to leave that long. It's hard to go on tour.
Not that we'd be gone that long.
Yeah,
underground tour, but
10 days or something. But
they could, yeah. Well, we kept doing it. It eventually turned into long tours. Mm-hmm. But I would love to go on tour with Bloody. Like, it's long overdue. But
if anyone gets a chance, you got to check out their video when they're in. Was it in Detroit when you're burning the Bible? You just posted it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, we did that.
That just makes me think. I'm like, man, those guys need to be back together. Get them back together,
dude. That whole night was crazy. Like, I don't know. There's more footage of what happened afterwards, but like Scum and Bubba showed up, and they like they went and got like a fucking keg of Jägermeister, like, I don't know, and it had a big squirt bottle, on the top
I've
of
seen
it.
those
Pumps,
kind of like the Heineken kegs, but with a Jägermeister in it or something.
Yeah, and like it was pouring us drink. Like, I mean, and as you can, if you see in the footage, it's a, which I just posted on the Horror Crunk Entertainment group on Facebook. You can see like, we're outside. Like the hallways is basically outside, and we're pretty much taking over that Motel 6. That's what I liked about the bigger shows we do, like out of state. Like it happened in Detroit, it happened in Dallas or wherever, and we would like take over these Motel 6, like take over a Motel 6, and we'd just be partying outside of there, and just it was crazy. It was everybody's walking around drinking and shit, and going to other rooms. You just go around other rooms. What's going on in here? What's going on in here?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys just own the place pretty much, it seems like.
There's nothing like it.
Yep. So what would be like the most nostalgic era of your career?
I would say back then.
Back then?
I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. Like it gets so hard to like figure out how long ago shit was, and so I usually just say 10 to 15.
That was like 09 when that video was, I think. I think that's what it said on it. I could be wrong, or maybe someone
I probably
commented.
posted it shortly after the event happened too.
Yeah.
That was around the time I finally got my own camera. Got tired of performing and everybody else filming it and not giving us the footage.
Yep.
But I wish I could have captured more. Like, got more footage of the shows at the Charleston and Bremerton. Those mosh pits were just crazy.
Dude, I want to see them. So if you got any of that, I would love to see people from Bremerton. Because I used to fucking go to punk shows in Bremerton. They were wild. And I think that's probably one reason why those shows were so wild is because Bremerton's got a lot of like metalheads and punks and hip hop. And it's so just like a really like... It's like people just like aggressive music in Bremerton. That's just how it is. I don't know. That's how it was when I went there, at least.
Yeah, it really stood out. I mean, sometimes I think we had so much energy, and sometimes jealousy forms from the energy we create. I don't know.
I mean, I could see that because somebody comes out after you and they're like, wait, why aren't people doing what they were doing before? Like it would be kind of terrible to follow you guys up when you have the whole room moving and then like you come out and half of those people are standing out there. Like everyone else went outside to go cool off and like, so I get it. Sounds like you guys were the show stealer. And that's kind of the thing is like when you're putting on such a big show, like you guys do with all that energy, like you are going to show people up. This is going to happen.
Yeah. Denver's tough. You got to play in Denver a lot to get them to show you love. Like that's a very local friendly town. There's a lot of towns where you got to perform for a long time to get your hometown to love you. But like these people were, like if you're out of state, like, you got to work to get them to pay. Like, they love their people.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Denver.
Denver's got a lot of good locals to compete with too. So when you go there, you got Scum and Hex and stuff.
First couple of times we came out there, like, most of the people went out and took their smoke breaks while we went on. Didn't know what they were missing, but I get it. And I'd see that happen in my town too. Like I'd have a homie coming into town performing, and he's really good, and I want my fans to hear him, and they're all heading outside. What are you doing? And they're like, I don't know him. Like,
yeah, yep. Yeah, I try to at least watch one or two songs from each band just to make sure that I'm not walking out on something. Like, you never know what you're going to miss out on. Like, you could find out about that band, like, getting really big a couple months later and find out they had a really good album. You're like, shit, I had a chance to see them? Fuck. So it's good. Don't walk out of shows early, audience, if you're listening. Give them a chance first, please. And that's why I was glad with Pill Brigade. When I first walked in, I didn't know what the hell I was listening to because they were banging on like a piece of trash, like for percussion and stuff. And like they had dance music going. Pill Brigade's a group that he plays with a lot.
Yeah, it's fairly new. That's fairly new. Well, not them. Pill Brigade's been around a while. The whole banging on
industrial shit.
It's fucking great.
It was so good. It was like banging out the whole bar. It was like the whole bar had to hear this. Like, so
what's cool is watching artists grow, and the cool thing about being in this scene and doing this genre of music is watching other artists grow, like watching Scum grow as an artist.
Mars. I mean, look at Mars when he started, and then look at him now.
Yeah,
it's
first time it was almost 20 years ago. We did our first show with Mars in Carl, Michigan. A and B was there. I remember they were the only ones who shut up with wireless mics, and they weren't there for long. But I remember a bunch of entitled artists getting mad because they're not sure on their wireless mics. And I totally understand where they're coming from now. Like when I was younger, I remember this rock band played. I played a show with this rock band in Bremerton, and I asked the guy if I could use his wireless mic. He's like, it's like asking me to use my underwear. I was like, what? Didn't quite get that at the time, but yeah, it's just. You pay a lot of money for something, you can't really trust other musicians with it.
People trash microphones on stage too,
especially
the more rock star type people when they're swinging around, spitting water.
Rappers, they're not even. It's the people that aren't even rock stars yet.
Yeah, well, to be fair, half the rappers aren't even rapping in the mic half the show anyway.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've kind of noticed. I didn't really know that was like a big thing until recently.
Watching Twisted Insane grow as an artist too. Yeah, I used to do shows with him, and we used to do shows with him in Portland way back in the day.
Yeah. Now he's got that cadence on lock where you can understand every single word he puts out there.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten a lot better and grown his art. He was great from the beginning, but he always had a dance he'd do when he'd go on stage, and then just watching his movements, watching him grow in his movements, and
that dude's always had like some sort of crazy demon inside of him, like not even figuratively. Like I feel like he's on a whole. He's just like Scum. Like he's got this energy and the sound that's just uncomparable. But I also think that you have something like that. I think that. Like after seeing you those last two times, and then like just the music that you've been putting out, it's really outside the box. It's not the same wicked shit that we're hearing all over the place, and it really goes back to the roots of the wicked shit too. It's not like going along with the trends.
Yeah. Sometimes I catch myself trying to do that. Sometimes I mean, I learn from other people. I think we all learn from each other. But what I liked about the show in Kent was I got a lot of love, and I did a lot of older stuff and really stuck to my roots, and which is why the next Everett show I kind of kept my set list similar. Same time, it would have been cool to perform some newer stuff, and some of that stuff's better mixed and some better beats, but most of that set list I produced myself. And nice to know people like my beats.
I love your beats. I love the production because it reminds me of the old school, not the old school 90s, but that 2000s, that sweet spot in the 2010. And I think that was a really good era. Like the Bloodshot, Stitch Mouth, all that, like where it wasn't super clean, but it was really dirty and dark, like grimy kind of shit. Where your newer album Evil, I think that's a little cleaner, on the cleaner side. Did you do beats for Evil?
No, actually, those were all beats I leased. Most of them were made by this Layered Music. I don't know. I just got an email from this guy out of nowhere. I don't know how he found me. I mean, I figured some kind of marketing shit. But he just emailed me. He said, I got some. Normally, I probably wouldn't even check it out, but he had a deal on a handful of beats, and I listened to them, and they're all more R&B-ish, and I was like, time to try something different. Like, I'd like to. I mean, I've been doing that since Indulgence, really. Like, I like to take like R&B-ish mainstream sounding kind of beats. Mm-hmm. And just make something horrible and offensive to it. Like,
yeah, it's almost like really crude satire. Like you're making fun of the song in a way. Like you're making fun of the style, sort of.
And it's a different vibe, like a little it was like a happier vibe to it.
Well, it catches people off surprise more.
Like, my song "Scot Free," you know, it's about a guy being happy, winning a murder case,
skipping down the street. I love that.
Street quickly, like
so good. And
I want to make a meme of fucking me saying those lyrics and fucking picture of O.J. Simpson saying like, you know, this nigga is spitting.
That would be a good TikTok right there. Yeah, that album too is like the features are really good too. You got a really good mix of features. You got HorrorCrunk Entertainment, Shane Poppenwolf. You got Crazy Snapcase on there. Trying to remember some of the other guys, but I really like how you curated your features on there. It was a nice pick, and there was a good amount of songs without features too, which is what I love too.
Yeah, it's been harder to get bloody on a song lately, but it's all right because I've been meaning to it's kind of I've had them featured on all my albums in the beginning, and been cool to make a couple albums where it's just me on there.
And kind of shining these newer artists like Shane and Crazy 8. They're not super new, but they need exposure, I think.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Shane's been around a while. He's been the Strictly for the Wickeds that we did, like way back in the day. Rapping with Stitches, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Stitches was a member of the Slaughter Camp, and I need to put that out on more platforms too, the Slaughter Camp album.
Yeah, that's what I got found on Dat Piff, I think. Was that?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, if you want to find some good Con-Crete stuff, check Dat Piff. You'll find some stuff that you can't find anywhere else on the net. So
I pretty much made all the beats on there. There's the other guy from New Mexico that made a beat or two on there, but like almost all of them were made by me.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit just went hard. Just super crunk shit. Like I pretty much directed it, kind of organized it. The frustrated guy waiting for guys to send in their fucking vocals and shit. Stitches was, he basically really bugged me to be in the group because I really want to be in this group, and he really wanted it. And so he sent his vocals to Fastest.
Is he on one song or multiple?
Multiple songs.
Okay, cool. Oh, damn. I can't wait to hear that. I downloaded it, but I haven't listened to it yet. So, yeah. I got all three of your things on Dat Piff, so I'm really excited. They're all on my phone. That's what I'm going to be listening to tonight for sure.
I still listen to Stitches sometimes at work. When I was working at Amazon, I listened to him a lot.
Yeah. They just remastered the Project Sin album with him and Stitches and Shane Poppenwolf's group.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. It's really offensive. Can't listen to it around anyone.
Oh, seeing them live was amazing.
Yeah. I asked them.
Mental Ward 2.
Yeah. So I was going to say, I asked Shane if he's ever been kicked off of a show for lyrical content. And he said no, but you had a different answer.
That happened to me a lot. Bremerton's a really conservative town, apparently. I learned that the hard way. I can't even find a venue to play out there right now. I don't even like asking, but still, I like doing shows in Bremerton. And plus, it's been a while. Should be pretty cracking. I'm gonna hopefully look into it later this week. But I might end up having to rent a spot, and even then, they still might get told no. But
maybe I can rent it and then and then give it to you.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But one time I was performing in this bar, and the lady that ran the place actually told the DJ to slow. He slowed my set down. It just got slower and slower, and then he cut it off. And this fat old chick just grabbed me by the hand and dragged me to the side and started scolding me like an angry grandmother. We draw a certain type of crowd here. They play mainstream hip hop all the time and stuff. And a couple months later, they got shut down for fights. And I'm just watching footage on the internet of this huge fight that was happening outside. And the cops, it happened just around the time of that Mike Brown. It was one of those, one of those earlier police shooting
Or the cops are just trying to stay out of everything so they don't get criticized.
They're under fire, and you can see the cops in the background just let it happen.
Yeah.
There's so many people fighting, and I'm just thinking to myself, you draw a certain type of crowd, huh?
And she draws a line too with bad lyrics, but she's letting people that fight come in. So
most people don't vent, they don't mosh, so they actually literally fight.
And that's why I've heard that
kill each other over females and fucking.
I've heard that country shows are the most violent of them all, and it's probably because they're not venting. They're not venting enough. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe some country vents too much, but I'm not one to talk about country. I don't know shit about it.
You do more fight songs. I mean, fight songs, usually fights end up breaking out, but I don't think they're as bad when you don't have fight songs.
I think the most of the time when there's a fight to be broken out, it's when there's different crowds and the same show. When there's like a mix of, say, juggalos and say non-hate or juggalo haters, so let's say, then the show is probably gonna have a fight or two. But usually stuff is pretty calm, at least.
Yeah, it's like you don't grow if you don't get bigger shows, and just Bremerton, nobody wants you to grow. Like the second you start growing and somebody sees a drop of blood, they're like, "Fuck this!"
Yeah.
Part of me wants to start my own venue down there, but that's probably just my ego.
Are you kicked out of all the Granges? Is there any VW halls or Granges or anything that'll let you?
The VFW in Bremerton.
We did a show there once. It was awesome.
It was all ages, but if you didn't have an ID, they wouldn't let you in. But it's all ages.
Yeah, the show I went to there was high school kids there and shit. So
yeah, I remember.
But that's VFW is huge too, so you could get a huge crowd in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, were you ever signed to SKR, or did you just collaborate with them? Were you ever officially signed to them?
I was signed. Blasphemer was an album I did through there. That's part of why it's hard to find now. I did Blasphemer under there. I was about to do another one, but I decided to leave because, when Bloody left, 6 months before I did, basically his beats were sold and the albums were basically scrapped and the beats were sold instead of keeping them out and making more money off of them. And I just why am I going to make another album if my beats are going to get sold when I decide to leave? Because I already kind of made up my mind I was going to leave at some point. So there's no point in doing another one. But otherwise it was a great experience. I did some really big shows, met some really cool people, and it's been cool to watch Raz grow as an artist. It was really fun working with Stitch Mouth.
I wish Stitch Mouth would jump back in the game.
Yeah, it'd be cool, but still, it's kind of interesting, kind of cool to see somebody who was actually able to stop and stay stopped for so long. Really?
That's true.
I mean, it leads to a lot of really stupid financial decisions when you're in the underground. I'm probably going to get interrogated at my work tomorrow and shit for choices I made for the sake of my music career. And I needed time to get some music shit done. And a lot of jobs want you to soak your whole life into them. And it turns out this one's no exception. But good for Stitch. I mean, as far as I can tell, he's a lot happier.
Yeah. It's probably good to get that monkey off your back and be able to just live your life instead of constantly having to chase your last album or chase your last tour. Now you can focus more on just your family and let your legacy live and breathe.
Yeah, it is. Be more of a family person with your kids and stuff like that. He loves that boy.
That's cool. Well, I'd love to have him on the show sometime, but I was going to ask about LSP. Have you collaborated with them very much? Anybody from LSP? Because I don't think I've ever seen you collaborate with Scum, even though we hung out with him the other night. Do you think you guys will?
We talked about it before. He just matter of waiting too long. I learned you got to hurry up and try and collab with people before. He just eventually got too busy. He really liked "Give Me All Your Money" or "The Baby Gets It."
Yeah, he was dancing.
Yeah, he loves that song.
He was dancing.
And we were talking about doing a remix, and I sent it to him, and I probably need to reproduce it. I think I sent him the same beat I had. He just got too busy. But he'll figure it out eventually. But What else?
Well, there's like Smalls One, or well, she's kind of. I think she might be on a little bit of a break right now until the Slaughterfest, but I'm not sure.
Some people are picky. Some people are picky on beats. I send them, and I'm just kind of one of those people. I'll send a couple, and then I just kind of done putting my energy into it, especially now as much as at work. Like,
yeah,
I should be more persistent, but.
Well, it is cool though, because you do get a lot of people that I've never heard before on your albums, especially like on, let's see, what was it? The Second Indulgence. I was like, who the hell are all these people?
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are more interested in working with Bloody than they are with me, which is fine. I feel the same way in my hometown. Like, I've had other artists I've talked about collabing with and just found out they think I'm going to hurt their fucking career, their non-existent career. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about local artists.
Yeah.
Horrorcore artists, obviously, I'm not going to hurt their career.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I don't know, I just kind of stay in my own lane and kind of like focus on building my own crowd. And, and then there's times where it's just like, like I'd like to work with Raz again, but I don't know, just matter of just asking, talking about it.
Yeah. But, I think that you and Scum would be one of the most brutalist tracks ever. Like, just you two together is like, I can't imagine the damage you guys could do on that.
Yeah, I guess matter of the right track coming along.
Also with Raz, that'd be cool. Like some awesome. She does great backing, especially hooks, and like she can also get really brutal too. So
yeah.
Yeah, but also, I'm also not a fan of albums that have a million collabs, but I like those golden collabs. The ones where you're like, this just fits perfect.
Like Mark of a Beast, there's a track on there. I really wanted to get AXE on it before they signed the M&E, but I hesitated. I was still pretty heavy into drugs at the time, lack of confidence. I didn't, or whatever. I just never got around to emailing them and talking to them about it. They probably would have done it for free then. Now they're under contract, so it'd be a lot more difficult to get them to do that. And I think I hit up Unforgiven for it, actually. Shout out to Unforgiven, by the way.
Yeah. Those guys are great. I got to see them.
Yeah. They're out here in the Northwest. Random 45 was listening to my music when he was like a teenager. And they got a lot of love for me. I got a lot of love for them. I go to their shows. They go to mine when they can. And and they got a lot of energy. It's cool. Like it's just like me and Bloodshot, like two really good artists find each other,
feed off each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like when they're out as a solo artist, it's not the same. Like kind of like me and Bloodshot. Like it's like. And fucking Light was digging their shit at the Rock the Doctor.
Yeah,
like
he was dancing to Unforgiven. I saw that.
Yeah,
yep.
It's horror metal. Check him out, dude. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's got a touch of horrorcore in it, but it's also very like eclectic. Like it goes all over the place. They have horror songs. They got like kind of anti-religious vibes. It's cool. I really like it.
Yeah.
And their music videos are cool too. They're really trippy.
Two great voices. They're about to go on tour pretty soon here. And I'd
love to see them on more of your stuff too. Or I'm sure I'll see them at more of your shows if I keep filming your shows, which I'm planning on doing. We're gonna have some footage up pretty soon too from that Everett show we keep talking about. He went wild, and it's a good show. You don't want to miss it. I want to ask you though, what are your favorite horrorcore records?
First thing that really comes to mind is Bloodshot's The Black Rose, which of course, I was there for the production of that whole thing.
OG or revisited?
OG, both, but OG, like that was the first time I really got to see a record professionally recorded. Like I remember getting out of jail and Bloodshot picking me up like the day I got out of jail, and he's like, "Come on, I'm taking you to the studio," and I got to watch him record a song, and that was around the time he was recording that album. I actually recorded a couple tracks with them for that album that didn't end up making the cut. So I wasn't on the original version, but like, and that was a cool thing too, you know. I was like, I didn't get butthurt about that, and I like fully supported. I loved the album. I would bump it, and I would sing it so much that eventually, you know, I started hyping him. Like, I knew his shit by heart. Like, I couldn't stop listening to it.
Yeah.
I'd be walking down the street, like, cops yelling at me. I'd just be like pacing on the median, like in the middle of the highway.
Like a music video with your arms out.
Like a cop had to turn on his fucking fog alarm, like, get off the median! I'm like, like, just out there in the middle of the street and his, yeah. Like,
one album I really liked that you were on a lot was The Saw's Family, but you did the narration on it.
Uncle Skulldeath was the character I was playing.
Yeah. I love that. And I was going to ask 2 questions on that. 1, do you ever think you'll get into voice acting? And 2, do you think that the dudes from AXE kind of sound like you when they do their little narrations? Because I kind of noticed that. I actually thought it was Lee Carver on that album when I first heard it. So I was like, wow, that sounds so much like him. Not calling them biters. I'm just seeing a similarity.
You hear the Bloodshot in too? I narrated the Bloodshot in.
Yeah, it's the same on that one too.
Yeah, like, and both of them were different characters. What was it? I pretty much directed all the skits for that album too. Like, I found all the actors. Like, started off with Bloody asking, you know, he was asking fans online, and they were agreeing to do it, but then a lot of them actually couldn't figure out how to get it recorded. They didn't have access to a studio, or found out they had to pay money, or like stuff, you know. But I had to gather a bunch of people in Bremerton, like local fans, and I got them to record the vocals, and I'd like bring them over to the crib, and I'd record them. I'd tell them what to say, and, you know, show them the script. Bloody wrote the script, and it was cool. Like, I directed voice acting, and I would like to get into voice acting. I think it's really important that I get into voice acting. I've got a voice for it. My friend from high school, Ananda Jacobs, I just hung out with her for the first time in 20 years. She lives in Japan, and she's got she's got a career as an actress and a voice actor, and she's also a musician that I was in high school band with. Long talented.
Way back.
Yeah. And
was she on the album?
No, I would like to work with her.
Yeah, you should get her on one.
Yeah, I believe she's even done a theme song to an anime. I couldn't name it, though. She doesn't even remember doing it. But I listened to her catalog. It's pretty, be something pretty interesting. But yeah, she's, as far as I can tell, she's pretty big in Japan. And she married a guy out there, had a kid, and so it was cool to meet her family. And, yeah, who knows what's next? But yeah, she's like into voice acting, really got me interested. But I've taken a voice acting class before. Like, I got a reel too.
Yeah, between like video games and animation and like there's so many different commercials. Like, you could do so much with it, and you do have the voice. So,
and I got the studio at home. So
yeah, you wouldn't even have to leave. You can get commissions. That'd be good.
Yeah. That's why I got to buy more isolation stuff for at home too. It'd be a lot easier to work at night and stuff.
Yeah.
But,
do you live alone?
I do right now.
In a house or apartment?
An apartment.
Is it like roomy enough for your studio stuff?
It is. Like, it's a studio apartment, but like, yeah. And the first thing I liked about it was when I looked in the closet and saw how big, one of the closets, like, there's plenty of room to put a studio and hang up some soundproofing stuff. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it worked out great. I just recorded in there this morning a track with my boy Crazy 8. He was my first hype man, and
saws up.
Saws the fuck up. He just he and his group
Hellbound Disciples.
Hellbound Disciples, right? Fucking hear it.
I repped it.
Just fucking joined the fucking family of Horror Crunk Entertainment, so fucking props to them. Woo!
Woo!
Yeah!
Congrats, dudes.
These motherfuckers are wicked as fuck.
And I was also saying you're the third Bremerton artist on the show so far. So this is a Bremerton and a HCE show. Like the last 5 episodes have contained Bremerton. No, in over the last 5 episodes, I've had people from Bremerton.
Crazy 8 used to live in Bremerton.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
You, Bloodshot, Crazy 8. So,
yeah. Did a lot of drugs with Crazy 8. Glad to see him doing so good now.
Yeah, he's great, man. And his beats, fucking great. I love those beats.
Hey, you're telling me. I watched him start making them. See how much he's grown. Like,
they're way different than yours, too. Like, completely different sound.
yeah, you could tell from the beginning he had a lot of talent, even though he was high as fuck. Like, and just barely had anything to work with. He was very creative. And then when he sat down with more of a clear head, and then him sitting down with a clear head and starting to make beats, and like I remember giving him sending him some sounds to work with, and then he started finding his own. He's a good guitar player too.
He's a fucking beast now on the mic. He's at that deep. He fits right in with the horror crunk sound.
Watching him find his voice too, like giving him pointers, and it was like, you'll find your voice eventually. And in no time, he found it.
And also shout out to Lord Chaos from Hellbound Disciples. I know they were our last episode, but yeah, shout out to both of those guys for Hellbound getting to sign and Crazy 8 getting signed shit. So.
I just did a track with both of them and shit. And me and Crazy 8 were both talking. We were like, damn, Lord Chaos fucking put us both to shame.
Dude, he goes like really down guttural, like straight up.
His accent and his cadence,
yeah,
fucking dope.
He's got that southern shit on lock for sure. I think they're gonna go places if they keep up what they've done over the last 6 months since they started working together. It's gonna be great. I'm excited about your whole camp, man. Everything that's been coming out of you guys has been exciting. It's been new. It's been fresh. Shout out Il Nickel. Il Nickel has been killing it lately. Shout out Deranged and Berserk, even though they haven't put out too many singles. I mean, the Mania Kill shit was cool with Il Nickel and Deranged. But yeah, shout out to the whole label. And I hope to have them all on. Collect them all.
Yeah, well, right, fuck, we're trading cards now.
Yeah. Fucking Horrorcore Wiki just put out a HCE trading card set, which I just ordered yesterday. Pick that up too. Pick up all the cards, man. They're fucking great. I love those Horrorcore cards.
It's only like $10 or something. I don't know how much.
It was 14 shipped, but yeah, 14 shipped, but yeah. Now I got you all. I got to get mine signed now, but yeah.
Get them while they're available. Holy shit! Like, I can't believe I'm a fucking trading card now.
Yeah, dude.
I was on another deck earlier, I think, but still, like.
So when's the action figure? When's the movie? Well, you did start a movie.
I did start a movie. It's called Mark of the Beast, and it was basically it was a movie to go along with my album. And I don't know if I should talk too much. Well, my plan is to release that album in October. I want to release Saws Up, hopefully summertime. I just set those tracks to Bloody to master that, and it's all bangers. But this other album is Mark of the Beast is something I started a long time ago. I at least want to release the album. I don't know if the movie's ever going to get finished, but there's still some clips on there that should definitely be released or turned into a music video or something.
I was going to say scrap it to a music video. It'd be good way to not waste any footage. And a good way to not have to film new footage.
It's like the story was almost completely told. Like there's a lot of shit in there that didn't need to be in there, but there's a couple things that needed to be in there that need to be shot. But everybody grew up, moved out of town. People look different. I probably still look the same. I don't know. I don't age for some reason. But regardless, I need to start a new one. But like I said, I got short films on YouTube, and but I actually I literally just last night, like, I paid for, like the big advertisement at the front of the Fago Lovers site.
Oh, cool.
That's part of why I held off on releasing Mark, because I wanted it to have an ad on there.
Good.
When it came out.
Actually, I'm going to check that out.
I have a few months to finish that, to actually make a music video for it, or a trailer, or whatever. But I got tons to work with, and it's time to put that shit out, and it's really, really good project.
And the Saws Up single you just released, that's going to be on the Saws Up album, I can only assume, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That track is fucking brutal. I love that shit, man.
Yeah, and you know, it's got a marching band. You got marching band sounds in the background, which is like totally me. It's Con-Crete and Aaron Williams.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, all the Crybaby also had a really good beat too that you did with Bloodshot. Crybaby.
Yeah, it had a lot of what?
Crybaby had a really good beat too.
Yeah, I didn't pick that one. Absolute fire. It's just nice to know that energy is still there. Like how well we work together.
And your verse is so cool. The way that you kind of come in like really soft.
Yeah.
And then you.
The problem about making that. Fucking another group album is making songs that match up with that fucking song.
Yeah. Well, I thought you guys sounded like you were in the same studio on that scene.
Which we didn't. We did it over the internet.
So would that be the first of the Slaughter Theory 2000 or whatever he's talking about?
Yeah.
Or I forgot what he called it.
It might be going under a different name actually this time, but yeah, it's still got to be Slaughter Theory.
Yeah.
But, whether it's called that, but like, that track is so tight. I can't believe how many fucking. Oh God, that was like a hit, and it's like, how do you top that or make more than that? Like,
and like every time I'm listening to a playlist or anything on Spotify and then my playlist ends, that song comes on. Like somehow Spotify knows that that's the one I want to hear. So yeah, shout out to the fucking song Crybaby, man. That song's a beast. And Saws Up too. Like both of those songs are back to back. It's like,
I think part of why it got so many plays is also because we deprived them of the second hook. I actually learned about that watching videos like Smart Rapper and stuff like that, like talking about making a short song. You deprive people of that second hook, they have to play it again to hear that hook.
I like that. I actually think it is a little bit of trimming the fat because you don't really need the hook at the end of the song because you already got the hook. You know what I mean?
It's kind of how the beat was made too. It just ended like that, and I just figured out how to end it and make it sound right. Like I don't know. It's like almost like you're possessed sometimes when you make a song. You know, you write it out. I just wrote and recorded like one of the fastest verses I ever did last night, and then recorded it this morning. Crazy Eight's like I didn't respond. He's just like, what is it, whack? What is it whack? I'm like, dude, I just finished writing to it. He's like, holy shit.
That's fucking awesome.
I was going to record it and surprise you, but you fucking got all...
You got inspired.
No, he's a great producer.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. The fucking bass he uses, it just sounds like he's just booming out the trunk. I love it.
You know, a lot of it started off with me telling him what I wanted, and then he just went way harder. Now he's making so many good beats, and he's like,
yeah, yeah.
I got a shitload of beats from him. I still got to use.
So we've talked about Crazy 8. We talked about The Unforgiven. What are some other kind of lesser known underground or horrorcore artists that you think need some shine? Anything you can think of off the top of your head?
Kind of. I already mentioned Unforgiven. I'm trying to hurry up and work with them as much as possible before they get signed in.
Yeah, I think they could too. Especially they've been doing stuff with Strife and all kinds of. I was just looking at their YouTube videos and stuff. They're like working with bigger people now.
Doc Gruesome.
Yeah,
which they're about to tour with him. Hellbound Disciples, just a lot of serious talent.
Do you think you'll ever? This goes back to collabs, but you played a show with Yak Nasty the other day, and you told me that you guys maybe talked about doing a collab. Is any more talks on that?
I just need to call the motherfucker. I probably should after this interview.
Yeah, Yak Nasty's going to be a guest soon, but we're just trying to find the right time. He just moved and had a kid. So he was going to be like episode 6, but that's getting pushed back. But expect Yak Nasty, and if you haven't heard him, check him out. He's fantastic. And you guys could put such a weird song together if you guys did it. I can imagine. Some weird ass, out of this world, crazy shit.
Also, pretty soon I'm going to post some photos. Try and figure out how to paint my nose with my face paint. I'm going to post some photos for fans to look at and tell me what they prefer.
Take a vote, guys.
Yeah.
Do you like the two dot?
2-dot, kind of like the skeleton skull thing, or
the blacked out nose?
just basically a blacked out nose.
Yeah.
I think what I'm doing right here is a little more original. It's kind of weird, but more original. But figuring that out, you notice I used the gray face paint because I'm kind of doing brand colors, and it seems to work. I think the crowd reacts differently when I actually really focus on what I look like. Something I didn't do when I was younger. I mean, yeah, I did. I had a look, but I never really. I think the color and stuck with it.
It looks more like corpse paint than it does look like traditional Juggalo makeup too, I think.
Yeah, I could possibly rip this suit up that I just got, and I could actually make myself look more like a zombie.
Look like you're in the Misfits or something.
Put some fake blood on there, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Well, is there anything else you want to go over? One thing I was going to ask, are you doing any commissions? You have all these talents. You do videography, you do beats, you do everything, basically. Do you offer your services to other people other than just vocal collabs?
Not so much. It all depends. I mean, if it's somebody I feel like I'd enjoy working with, I wouldn't mind directing a music video for something. But right now, I mean, I got a good job and I don't have to I don't have to focus. I don't really want to work with just. I don't want to work with anybody. People ask me why I don't charge for studio time. It's because I really don't want to deal with rappers, especially ones I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's.
Sometimes it's good to just have a little bit of a fee just because you don't know how much of a pain in the ass it could be in the future, Yeah,
I mean, it's it just all depends on who I'm working with, but I don't mind making some money. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to hit me up. I
was about to say your beats are pretty good, man. I could see people wanting stuff like that in their music.
Tons of them, and just a matter of focusing and you gotta marketing yourself and stuff and keeping track of beats you sold. That's.
Oh yeah. That's a whole racket.
And I've sold beats before, and I've had some bad experiences and good experiences. But sometimes I'm so focused in my own shit, But doesn't hurt to hit me up, or if you want to collab.
Get this guy on your track, man. He needs to be heard by more people.
Yeah, I need to collab more anyway.
Yeah. You need to be on other people's stuff. I
haven't even really been charging much lately. Sometimes ever since I got clean, I felt like I've been starting over, because there was a period where I just stopped touring. I stopped doing a lot. Just got focused and stuck in a bunch of bullshit, and and it sucks. And there's nothing worse than losing momentum. And I've learned in my recovery. I mean, whether I'm going to, I won't know how long I'll stick with it until I do. But one thing I've learned is learn to swallow my pride and just admit, admit where I'm at. And so,
don't let the past kill you over things. You have to look forward. You can't look back about all the things that can hold you back.
Yeah,
it's very important.
So, get a hold of me, man. Let's work.
Yeah. Get this guy on some tracks. I wanted to get into your mask. You have this mask right here, but there's also an older mask that we see in some of your promo stuff that's broken. What's the story behind those?
Oh, yeah, that was a wooden mask. I still have it. Well, at least that half of it. I came up on it. It was actually given to me by a fan's father, Sean Turner. I was talking about him earlier. The guy that got fucked up in the mosh pit holding his chest.
Oh, yeah.
and told me to keep going. He
Shout out Sean Turner.
Yeah. His dad like offered me this mask he had. It like had survived the fire. Like it's not even painted black. It's like covered in soot.
Oh,
It used to hurt my eyes when I'd wear it, which I thought made it even more fucking rad and metal. Right? And I had my homegirl Sarah at the time, and she hates me now. But I had her paint it. She wrote 3 6s on its forehead, and I'd wear that. It wasn't really easy to wear, but it was cool for photos and stuff. And I actually used it in the Mark of the Beast film, like the full mask. And eventually, during active addiction, it was broken in half by an angry Christian heroin whore.
Wow.
Let me say that one more time, just in case you didn't cut it in and maybe cut straight to the chase. Like, oh yeah, that mask. It was broken by an angry Christian heroin whore. I'm fucking serious, man. And there goes that hypocrisy thing I talk about, Christian.
Yeah.
Like,
it all comes to full circle.
I was fucking around with this bitch, and I was trying to get rid of her. Like, she left to go to the casino, and I was like fucking done with this bitch, but like she's crazy. She's already had guys locked up for beating her up. Or I mean, she was the kind of chick that would probably call the cops, get me arrested even if I didn't do anything, and then take over my house and turn it into a fucking brothel. Don't do drugs. Yeah, you won't be in these situations.
Stay clean, kids.
Yeah. So I came up with this brilliant idea because I knew how she was, and I had all these set pieces like a bunch of satanic paraphernalia. I mean, I got them for this film, but I mean, just me being me. Like I had a fan drew up a fucking a satanic Baphomet on a fucking red cloth for me, and God, I miss that thing. And we so I hung that up on the wall. I already had some red upside down crosses, and I just hung all that shit up in the basement. So when she came back down, I didn't have to say anything. She just started packing her stuff, crying. The bitch stole a fucking wedding dress, had a fucking stolen wedding dress down there. Like she's all crying. She's like, I guess I'll have to wear this wedding dress for someone else. You're a fucking whore. And she like punches me in the back, like just total abusive, crazy bitch.
Wow.
I just kind of laid down and just like faced the other way. Didn't look at her. Just
Johnny Depped it.
It was a brilliant idea. It got her to want to leave.
Yeah.
She just started packing her shit up because she was so fucking superstitious. Like,
wow. Can't believe.
She was getting in arguments with my dead friend's ghost. Like,
oh man.
Yeah.
That's intense.
It's fucking stupid. Yeah, and so while she was on her little rampage, all of a sudden, brah, I just hear smash. It's like, that's right, I broke your fucking mask. How do you like that? I just looked at it. It was like, turned back around, just ignored her until she left.
Oh.
And then my dumbass let her back in like a couple weeks later.
Was she somewhat with the...
I had to come up with a whole new trick to get rid of her.
Was she what the I Don't Pray Girl was based on a little bit? From the music video?
It was actually about another chick, but I mean, she's a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other bitch was even dumber.
Where did you get this one?
She wouldn't even charge people. This one I just ordered online. It's actually the second one I've had. Because they break pretty easy. I can't really wear it on stage, so I just paint my face. But I picked this one because it's kind of got a concrete color to it, like it's almost gray. Looked like the closest thing to a mask. It looked like it was made of concrete. Obviously, it's not really made of concrete.
I honestly thought your old mask was made out of concrete for some reason.
No, the old mask, yeah, it was wooden, so it was easily broken in half.
It kind of looks concrete-y, though.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like hard stone.
Back to the wooden mask, though, over time, I kind of just realized it's kind of cool. Like, it's kind of a half good, half evil thing. So it just covers half my face, so I'd wear it for photos. I even used the hashtag half man, half beast.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a song like that, but it's never happened. Half man, half beast, half man, half beast, half man, half beast. Boom, doo, 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 doo. And so I get somebody to make one of those fucking old, Disney fucking. Doo, 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 doo. Okay, we'll just sample that.
We got a song.
Yeah, and so it was to me, it was kind of sending more of a message that was a little more connectable,
Yeah.
Everybody's all scared of evil, but they can, they know everybody's got a good and dark side. And I remember that chick started talking to me again, like after recovery, and like she, and then like one day she just saw some pictures. I just posted a picture with that mask on. I was like, "You still got half that mask?" I was like, "Yep." She stopped talking to me after that.
The only memory you're holding on from her.
Thank Lucifer.
Yep. Hail Satan.
Yeah, I think she'd take it as a compliment, but no.
Yep.
The cat's back.
Hey, the cat's back.
Oh, speaking of which, just found out we were talking earlier. To me about some of your struggles with alcohol, which
Yeah, I'm in November I'll be 3 years sober. Now I did fall off the wagon after a 5-year sobriety.
Yeah,
but
explain that experience.
So yeah, I was like, alcohol was ruining my life. So I was like, I'm gonna switch from alcohol to weed, and it worked. And I smoked weed for 5 years straight, never touched booze again. And then some people were saying that I wasn't very much fun anymore, and that they were all drinking. And this is a big lesson for a lot of people that drink. Get away from your toxic drinking buddies, because those are the ones that are going to keep you drinking if you're having a problem with it.
Fortunately for me, I do shows with those people.
Yeah, but I was I was married to one of those people. So yeah, get away from them as fast as possible, cut them out of your life, and move on, and don't look at the past.
Drinking buddies are cool though.
Yeah. Well, when show friends are different, because those are like, and I know how that is. Like, I was in and out of the punk rock scene, and I was drinking and not drinking in the punk rock scene, and I'd have to go to house shows where everyone was throwing up outside, but I would still have a great time playing and talk to people, and then just get in my car and go. But yeah, and then but now I'm about to hit 3 years sobriety again, and it's the reason why I have this show. It's the reason why I'm going to shows with Con-Crete and filming you. I would not have any.
Not drinking or doing drugs is part of the reason I was able to drive for an hour and a half out here and show my face. Reason I've been able to go to more shows and reconnect with my friends and
It's weird how much it holds you back when you're in it. You don't think about the fact that it's basically illegal for me to drive now because I'm drunk all the time. So I'm basically not allowed on the road.
Yeah, I got my license back. I almost didn't want to talk about it in this interview because I don't know. But really, I think, part of how I stay sober is carrying the message, and it's worth a shot. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to be looked at as a hypocrite if I fall off the wagon, but I just hearing your story actually helped me out a lot and made me think maybe I should talk about it.
Yeah.
But
well, it's good when you find someone that's going through a similar struggle to talk about it, because you're shouting to the world and they're listening, but they're not 100% there with you. So
I just kind of, when you told me that, I kind of realized, this guy connects with my journey and stuff. And I do have a couple recovery songs I've done, and possibly a recovery album coming up soon. I'm not sure when I'm going to put it out.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But Horrorcore still, that's my baby.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's good also because there's a lot of people in the horrorcore scene that are struggling with their sobriety, and I see it on Facebook every single day.
Yep.
And
Bloodshot is drinking a lot less. I've actually encouraged a few people.
El Nickel's not drinking anymore, or at the moment, and Mars stopped drinking, and I don't know, everyone is. And now that weed's kind of legal in a lot of these places, I know that you don't do that, but it's helping a lot of people get off of booze. Washington is the the bars are like dead now because
I
everyone's
still
at home.
perform past the liquor. I mean, I think
Yeah.
if you drink, drink. I just lost my privilege to.
Yeah. No, same here.
I cut
Like,
myself off. I just had to.
yeah. I'm straight up singing along your liquor songs, and it's funny because we're both sober guys, but I'm like, I'm singing along like a drinking anthem with you. But you know, it you can kind of like trace it back to your past and be like, yeah, that's a song from that time. It still like represents a part of my life.
Don't get me wrong. I love alcohol. That's why I can't drink it. I mean, I wouldn't be who I am right now if it wasn't for alcohol. I was drunk when I said earlier. I was drunk when I first freestyled. Like,
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like I said earlier, it's good not to think too much about your past and let it eat you alive, but it is good to like attribute the good times that you had, like the SKR days or whatever, and just know that those times were there and they were fun and they enriched your life in a way, and you can still have fun, but you just don't need the same substances.
I just heard from somebody this morning. They were talking about the show I did, the Rock the Doc show I did in Everett on Tuesday, and he's like, that had to be the best set I've ever seen you do. I'm like, the only thing I say is sobriety's been good to me. Apparently I'm doing better now. Like, I focus more on my image. Like,
your movement is like, I mean, I know that when I used to drink and perform, like I would get winded and I'd feel like halfway through the set, I'd feel like I had to throw up.
Yeah.
Especially if I was drinking whiskey or something.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have any water in you, just liquor fumes, and you're like going crazy on stage, like it fucks you up.
Yeah, Steven, the lead singer of Aerosmith, said when he pointed out old footage of him just singing and performing, and he just looked like a zombie just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's running around with a headset pointing at people. He's got people in his ear, like,
yeah.
His wife's on his intercom, like, telling him, like, dude, there's a girl over there showing your tits. Go point at her and shit. Like, focus on so much more shit. But I don't know. Anyways, I just want to talk to that for a second. I think we're about ready to wrap things up here.
Yeah, I think so too. Really good to like see you in person and do this in person. Like it was really special. Something I'll remember forever. And I think, especially Pacific Northwest, being up here, it's like we gotta stick together because it's a small group.
Figured since I was so close, I might as well just come here and do it in person. Just do it a little different.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thanks a lot. And where can people check you out?
Yeah, you do very good interviews, by the way. Like,
I appreciate it, man. That means a lot coming from you. Where can people check you out if they want to like support you?
contothecrete.bandcamp.com. That's contothecrete.bandcamp.com. You can listen to my music for free. You can purchase it if you want. I'm on Spotify. It's Con-Crete with a hyphen in the middle. See it right there, back there on the mugshot.
Yep. And you got the HCE sites that you should subscribe and follow to, and you'll find Con-Crete on those too.
Yeah, youtube.com/Con-Crete official for music videos and all that good stuff, all that good shit. But get the Bandcamp page. Like, I kind of made the name so I could make a rhythm or a song out of it, which I might make soon. Like, contothecrete.bandcamp.com.
Oh, I like it.
Contothecrete.bandcamp.com. Hey, contothecrete.bandcamp.com. Hey, contothecrete.bandcamp.com. Yeah!
Well, fuck yeah, guys. This was HorrorCorridor with Con-Crete. Thank you so much for watching. We need some more. All right, thanks a lot.
Your bitch ass is in the race. I don't knuckle down, I down another love. Knock your teeth out in the puddles of blood. Where my followers at? Where my disciples attracted ones? It's time to ride on our rivals. See, that's how the haters get dismissed. Missiles and animals, this is the end. these haters know I ain't no bitch. It's time to put an end to their bodily functions. I got a jam that'll cave your lungs in. So my killers in FJR. Don't hold on the ground, you know who you are. Fire and pull your logic out.